Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Forge of Champions. Barrage just got themselves their win over NVision, but it is, like we said, a best of 3. And now we need to look at what went wrong and what went right in that game. So for NVision starting off, the solo lanes got smacked about. I think that's the easiest way to say it.
A little bit. But actually, yes, they got hard clapped. Artorias had an Artorias KO performance as opposed to yesterday's Artorias KO performance, which wasn't great. But a big issue for me was sort of with the bot lane. Ezreal Nautilus is not a strong combo. The Nautilus, yeah, he can roam, and they tried it a little bit, but it seemed very uncoordinated. We saw a lot of times people would roam together, but without ults up and whatnot. And I thought, just imagine if that Ezreal wasn't an Ezreal. Imagine if that was the Ashe, and you take something more high priority like that. Imagine if that was the Tristana. So I really want to see 2 things from NVision. 1, play around Spark, because he's good. He really has shown
he
it
is.
multiple times across the whole tournament. And secondly, just be more decisive.
Alrighty, well, we're into picks and bans here. Barrage on the red side and Vision on... Sorry, Barrage on the blue side, Vision on the red. Seeing the Yuumi and the Akali ban taken away. Don't want to give D.Va that Akali anymore. They left it for first pickable for Barrage last time, and they got completely ruined. Man, my day just probably had a pretty mad day after that, getting completely smacked about by the Akali. What did Barrage want to take away? They're going to take away the Kai'Sa once again. Most likely, this will force a Xayah at some point in the picks and bans. We'll have to see.
Of course, if NVision leave it open, it is then just immediately picked by Barrage, so they sort of do have to ban it here. And then we have this whole same discussion again about what happens down in the bottom lane. I still think just grab Tristana early, see if you can flex it. I don't know if it's in Mad My Day's wheelhouse, but that seems like the kind of thing Artorias would pick. You know, we've been talking about him playing these weird, wacky top laners. Tristana's close enough.
We'll see. All right, so 5 seconds left in Barrage. Looking about to take away their final ban. What do they want to ban away? Do you take away the Elise? Pretty much what we saw out of last game from them, actually.
Yeah, identical bans from Barrage and NVision. Who did they ban that wasn't Akali? They banned Pantheon, they banned Xayah, and someone else.
I had a complete brain fart off the top of my head.
I think for life of me.
Yasuo's going to get banned away. It wasn't Yas. So this does actually mean that the Xayah's open, and we expect this to be KDO's first pickup.
Yeah, 100% you just first pick the Xayah here, and then you have to...
otherwise you give Xayah a card.
It was Syndra they banned. So they're leaving the Xayah open, and then they're saying, yeah, if you pick Xayah, we will pick the Syndra. But Spark isn't really a mage player, so...
Or they just let the
take it the other way around. Okay.
And it's a solid flex pick as well for them here, because they can run it mid, they can run it bot lane, depending on what they want to go for. So NVision, what's their answer? What do they want to go for? Xayah Khan is open for them.
You have to go Xayah Khan. You have no choice otherwise, because Kai'Sa's bans. If they pick Xayah Khan, you're not getting Kai'Sa Nautilus. So you just have to go Xayah Khan here, which is fine, because it is a strong lane.
There's the Xayah. See what they want to go for here. Probably the Rakan. I mean, you can not pick the Rakan here and pick something like a strong jungler if you want, and then get the Rakan as your last rotation. Because what are the odds of Barrage just taking the Rakan about the Xayah? Or is it... Or am I...
not terrible. The thing is, if you want to do something like the Syndra bot, you kind of have to do like Syndra Pike. Syndra Rakan isn't really going to work. I actually liked the Leona idea. They've gone for the Jarvan, but Leona would have been really nice because Leona does well versus Xayah because she can take no damage from Xayah's W, and she does really well versus Rakan. So that would have been a strong pickup. She also does really well with Syndra.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit mystified by why they wouldn't want to lock it here, unless they're baiting it. They were just sort of putting the idea of Leona into Barrage's head, and then they're going to whip out something like the Shaco support.
All right, what do Barrage want to whip out? That is the question. They're going for the Rek'Sai once again here for them. Taking their time, thinking about what they want to lock in. Do they want to lock in AD carry? Do they want to lock in a support right now? Maybe go a bit wilder and try and get himself a blind top laner for a spanner in the works. Don't expect that. I expect see an AD carry or support. They go for the Lucian.
Okay.
So I think KDO will be able to go fairly aggressive into Spark on. And now it's going to be about, do they want to pick themselves up something like a mid laner here for NVision and get all the Syndra counters banned away, like the LeBlanc and things taken away? Or do they want to pick themselves a comfortable bot lane like this Leona and the Xayah or the Rakan and the Xayah and look to play around what KDO and Farsight are going to do?
All right, well, yeah, the Leona is just so much nicer than we saw last game. Now we have a cohesive bot lane that are going to do things together. They're going to be stronger. They're going to dominate lane. And that's what you need from Spark. I'm still not 100% sold on the Jarvan from Antero, but if they just sort of decide, yep, we are an engaged team, we have engaged, we fight, because we saw last game they gave up so much early. And this doesn't mean that Antero has to be doing things like level 2 ganks and popping, but just contest something. Just get a little bit of vision down so you know where they are, and then even if it's reactionary, just try and contest. You have such a strong team fight with these 3 picks already that I don't think it can go poorly.
Alrighty, the Morgana, the Rek'Sai, gonna get banned away. By the way, I do want to actually give a quick shout out to our people who did our graphics here, because we got some spooky graphics.
We got some spooks in the corner.
There's a cobweb there, skeleton down there. Big fan of that. Like that.
Yeah.
All right.
This Tibbers looks so realistic. Wow.
So does this Tibbers. Oh wait.
For this, you think the Annie doesn't look realistic? Are you not sold that I'm a
earlier
5 foot tall 8-year-old girl?
When we got out of the last game, I was kind of like in my bunged up cold like haze of a human I am right now. I was listening to your points.
I was Annie.
No, I was listening to your points, and you were talking. I was like, yeah, these made loads of sense. And I looked, and I was like, he's got pink hair right now. Yeah, this is what's going on. I completely forgot what was going on.
Same thing. I was halfway through a point in like picks and bans last game or something, and I was like felt like a breeze on my knees or something. I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. What about? Oh yes, yeah. Oh yeah, that makes.
You're in a skirt.
I'm wearing a skirt. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the last 2 bans and not your dress wear here. The Braum and the Veigar are going to get taken away by both of these teams. Now, what do NVision pick up? They go for their mid laner, want to pick up the Cassiopeia. That's going to be a lock in to go versus D.Va on this Syndra. And now Barrage, they're looking for a support. They're looking for a top laner. Doesn't mean Artorias will get counter pick.
Right, and that's good. Like, we've just seen that Artorias had a pretty rough time when he was blind picking, but we've also seen he can do well. He does have that potential. I think Cho'Gath versus KO is kind of a rough matchup for the KO. Cho'Gath is nice. He can hold his own versus those sort of buddy picks, but then also because she's going to root herself so much with the Qs and Es, it's free ruptures. So by giving Artorias the counter pick, maybe we have a chance to see a bit of one of the more different showings of the KO. And Ornn actually could be a decent enough matchup if he wants to try it again and see if he can at least get a 50% win rate on it.
At the moment, he's just taunting Artorias. We'll have to see what he decides to lock in, what he wants to round out this comp with. The Ornn would offer a nice amount of engage here for Barrage, because at the moment they are kind of lacking that hard engage, but the Cho'Gath just was so good in lane that Icebreaker wants to pick that up again. Doesn't mean this team doesn't have quite the amount of hard engage outside of like a hook or a flash knock-up or a scatter the weak, but it's not as quite reliable as the likes of a Call of the Forge God now. So it's going to really be about Farsegg playing this front line for his team. And Artorias, what does he want to lock in? What does he want to round out the team for here?
Well, there is always the possibility that you actually just send the Cassiopeia top. That seems like the kind of thing that Artorias would play. And I think the matchup mid is fine. I still lightly Cassiopeia favored, but if you were really worried, you could swap them around. But we do see that the Gnar has been locked in, so slightly favored for Artorias, but really just seems like a lane where he's much safer versus the Cho'Gath. And then maybe once he gets a couple items, can look to make some outplays.
All right, so how are we liking these comps? I'm liking the look of the NVision comp this time, because they've got a lot of hard engage. They've got the Cataclysm, they've got the Solar Flare to work with. What are the win conditions? What are we expecting coming out of this game?
The thing is, NVision had a lot of hard engage last game as well. So yeah, I look at this comp and I'm like, oh, nice. They've got what they need. But now they actually just need to do it. Because they had the Jarvan last game. Like you said, they have the Jarvan and the KO combo. They had a Nautilus to go as well. That's easier engage than Leona, because Leona's you actually have to hit it, Nautilus, you just flash ult. And there was something that we just never saw happen. So if NVision get together and just play with a bit more confidence, remember, this isn't a nothing to lose matchup. You don't actually have to be that scared. Some teams play better when they're on the brink, but I think NVision are one of the ones that actually end up playing worse. If you lose this match, it's fine. You go to the losers bracket. Obviously, heavy incentive to win it because of the weighted final. Basically,
also just avoiding the losers bracket.
Just not losing is a great time. Like, winning this series counts as having an extra win. It's better than just winning a normal best of 3. And I think as long as NVision keep that in their mind, so they're playing to win and not playing to not lose, they can still have a chance.
Well, it's all to play for here for NVision. Their backs are to the wall. If they lose this, they drop down to the losers bracket. And that is really when you're in the danger zone at this point, because technically in the upper bracket you have an extra life. If you do fail, you fall into the losers bracket, but you don't want to fail. You want to get into the finals. You just want to be that one last best of 5 away from making it to the the spring split of the UKLC. And that's what everybody here is playing for. Barrage, they had a rough summer split, but they seem to have found their form coming in to Forge Champions and taking down XL. Maybe that's the strength they needed to try and get themselves through the Forge of Champions promo relegations.
Yeah, I mean, they looked good in that XL game. Obviously, there were some interesting shenanigans with all the various bot lanes and role swaps we saw.
Yeah.
But actually, just from a sort of objective point of view, Barrage did play well, and they played well last game. Now, big issue for Barrage in this comp is the Lucian. Lucian, not a champion that's doing a lot of AoE in team fights, which means KDO probably less likely to get a penta this time round. Is going to be something to keep in mind. So, KDO Quadras, he's not going to be going... was it 3 for 4? I think he's got 3 games played so far, 2 quadras. So we'll have to see if he's going to be able to whip out another one on the Lucian, and I think it might not be happening.
Well, it depends how fed he gets. We'll have to see how the lane goes for him.
Maybe he'll build a Hurricane.
It's a very aggressive lane, but then both sides also have a lot of damage to work with early, so quite exciting stuff really when we look towards this bot side of the map.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. There's a lot of engage for both sides, as you said, on the bot side. We do have the old Lifesteal lane. It's going to soon be Lucian's second most iconic lane. Now with Senna on the horizon, but
yeah,
Rush does have the slight advantage.
I haven't actually really... I've seen the paragraph and I didn't bother reading it.
It's like, yeah, man, I've just
I'll learn
loads of uni citations and stuff this week, so like I just haven't had... Like, I don't know what's the format it's in, you know? Is it an APA or is it in Harvard? Like,
I'm like... If your passive's 5 paragraphs, you know there's a lot going on
One
there.
of the paragraphs is only sticking around for 1 patch, though.
True.
Like, so let's give Riot credit. It's only 4 paragraphs.
Which one?
She's got hard-coded in that Spell Thieves will give her a...
I see.
Adapted force on this patch because the items aren't out yet. Interesting start from Monkeys to actually start on the Wolves. Something very few junglers do. I think it's a really neat idea because you need no leash and it gets to make you a total mystery. However, rough timing from Monkeys as Antero just runs straight on over and grabs the blue, which I'm cool with because he's actually just getting something done already.
Yeah, solid invade then by him there as Monkeys just doing his full blue side clear, red side clear. None the wiser. Ward has also been placed down, and now D.Va has to be careful as level 2 Ontario actually gets stunned up.
Oh no.
D.Va somehow just saved his life without even knowing what was going on.
Oh, I mean, I was saying I want Antero to do something. I didn't mean level 2 yanks. I specified that at the time, but Antero's still going to look for them anyway. But he does end up putting off this triple buff start. Yeah, the gank didn't come through, but I'm not even sure if D.Va knew he was there. So you kind of take those, and now Monkeys will be spotted out on a ward block.
Yeah, we'll clear out that ward. Knows it's there, but he was aware that blue buff has started because he's going for the invade.
Yeah,
take away the Krog.
Spots out Antero here. But
Antero spots him out. He does have the push though. He has fast leg who can roam down if he needs it. Proper Panda's already making moves though as well to try and stop this from happening. So NVision do scare off Monkeys, and now he's actually a little bit slower to the punches. Has to head back with his tail between his legs into his side of the jungle, but now he's actually just going for an invade again.
Well, something that we haven't mentioned yet is that both marksmen have taken a combat summoner. No teleports in the bottom lane, which does indicate that both teams are looking to play just a little bit more aggressively down here. Fast leg, though, this time around is the one with Ignite as opposed to Cleanse, because it's a little bit harder to cleanse a Leona ult for your ADC than it is an Ashe.
San Antonio actually making something happen here onto D.Va. Gets the flag, the drag, a great scan of the week. Will send him back in, and now he gets knocked up. Shields on him. He has to flash away, but Yasmin's down by Man by Day. One more Q lands, and that's enough for Monkeys to flash forward and finish him up. First blood to Barrage.
And it's just something you have to be so aware of when you're versus a Rek'Sai, that even if you have the sweeper, even if you make sure you're controlling vision, Rek'Sai's still going to know where you are, especially if you don't know where she is, courtesy of the Tremor Sense, and a lovely counter gank from Monkeys. A nice read on the situation. Now Mad Mind Day forced under his tower, but looks like he's got enough mana that he'll be able to pick up most of those creeps without any trouble.
Yeah, the power of the Twin Fangs means it's fairly easy for you to be able to get that farm off. Torius once again though versus Icebreaker. You can already see the health bars pretty low, but Icebreaker obviously has used quite a lot of mana to deal with that. So Torius, no mana cost on this Gnar.
Yeah, we haven't really seen the top lane too much or spoken about it in this game yet, and frankly, we'll take that as a good thing if you're an Artorias fan. Because last game, at this point, we'd already said a lot about the top lane. And it wasn't looking good for Artorias, and now it still might not be, as Monkeys is lurking in the area, but Icebreaker's wave is pushing in, so that gank probably not going to happen.
I mean, the Gnar lane's infinitely harder to gank, right?
Nah, a little bit. On account
just a little bit.
The hops, skips, and jumps.
As some people may say.
That's an Annie reference.
That's also something I keep saying. Anterio, actually, looking to make a play happen. Here comes the flash, here comes the cleanse. Gets that Zenith Blade underneath tower. Proper Panda now taking some serious damage. Shot after shot, and KDO gets himself one. Teleport's coming in. In comes D.Va. Has got himself a knock-up onto him, but they have the Lantern to keep him alive as lots of feathers are being called. He has to flash away, and D.Va just burnt his summoner spells for nothing. Way too slow on the teleport.
But NVision, I was joking. I know I said, like, you have to force stuff, but just get something done, but not like that. Like, you get the engage, you blow the cleanse, okay, cool. But then suddenly Mad My Day is there and you're diving. It's like, hang about. No, you've got what you came for. It's fine. You've blown the cooldowns. And then Proper Panda going in onto Fast-Legged, who has Flay. And instead of flaying to disengage, like you always do in this matchup as Thresh, Fast-Legged pretty accurately recognizes the situation. Goes, oh, I'll just flay him under the tower. I've got Aftershock. It's fine. No one's going to die here. And they are able to pick up that kill. So a nice read on the situation, but even with D.Va coming in too late and losing sums, still a win for Barrage. Oh, but we said D.Va no sums, so...
I mean, this is just easy. The Scout of the Week comes out, the Miasma, the Flag, the Drag, the end of days as D.Va collapses. NVision find their first of game 2. They're able to shove a wave in and maybe get some plates over to Mad My Day.
That's fine. It looks like he will be able to pick up one, but Monkeys is in the area. Only level 5. Petrifying Gaze is available.
Yeah, he's going to maybe hold it for the moment. Monkeys do some serious work to him. Flashes away with a Petrifying Gaze. And now you can see Fast-Leg stepping up.
Wait, this is rough. Monkeys might be close to level.
Monkeys is level 6. Mad My Day is dead. But it looks like he's not going to get that in time.
Yeah, I feel like if he was close enough, he'd be going for this wave.
Yeah.
But really vital that the Petrifying Gaze was used. As I learned the hard way just the other day, that Rek'Sai ult does not win versus Cassiopeia. When you come out of the ground at the end of the Rek'Sai ult, you are facing her. So even though you will always get the damage off, it's very easy to Petrifying Gaze you. And then you are somewhat doomed from there. Oh, you hate it. You think you're gonna get a nice Krug camp full of experience.
Nope.
And then you're just not.
Monkey's now level 6. Ontario, not. Should probably get him off these chickens though. Shouldn't be too far away. Did just lose that Krug camp though, so he's out on a bit of experience here and there.
Yeah, he did swipe a fair bit of XP from the mid lane when they got that kill onto D.Va, so I think he would be pretty close. But actually finishing the camp and he's still level 5, so Wolves not available, Gromp not available, and Blue Buff probably going to be handed over to Mad. It's a rough time.
Barage's bot lane now pushing up. Zenith Blade just used to get some damage off, but Culling comes down to poke out the NVision members underneath their tower. I mean, they're in for a little bit of danger as this plate should fall here. They might just push for more. They've got a lot of minions to work with.
They've got a fair amount, but they know, yep, we've got Monkeys up here in the area, and you think that would be that would give you this sort of option to push, but because MVE know where he is, they think, no, we'll just back off, we'll help him out with this, we'll prioritize, we'll get the tower later. And now they've got complete control over that east quadrant. They've got the push to the tower if they want it, and that means they could well take that Cloud Dragon whenever they see fit, especially with that tunnel set up there for Monkeys.
Alrighty, well, Monkey's able to pick that up. Mad My Day now got his Petrifying Gaze back available to him, just as I said it. Comes off cooldown.
Great work. Nice time.
What can I say?
What professional. I have to see if it is too relevant. It doesn't have the flash, so we won't be able to look for some sort of swanky R-flash play, but it looks like a dive could be planned around that bot side. We do see D.Va and Monkeys are lurking in the area. They are going for the Cloud Drake, but as we mentioned, there is nice vision coverage in the east quadrant. I don't think, though, they will see Antero recoiling. Yep, he's too far away from that ward, so they are not going to spot him recoiling. If they had, maybe they just look for the dive on the spot.
D.Va just doing his best to hold the wave here. Equally CS to Mad My Day, even though he did die earlier on in the game. Monkeys getting his camps, getting his base off. This top lane's been relatively quiet. We keep talking about, you know, the mid roams and the bot lane, but top lane, been fairly neutral. Both of them just base, and now we're looking for that lane swap. Both top laners are aware of it, so they're moving towards the bot side of the map. You can see Ventorius is waiting just to get himself his Merc Treads, and Ontario just sitting in the pocket of Proper Panda and Spark.
And I mean, this top lane is so chill that Icebreaker has just gone for stacking CDR. He's just looking for feast stacks at this point. He goes, yep, I'm not going to kill him. He's not going to kill me. And no jungler cares about this lane because we're top laners. We're used to it. So just, yep, stack the CDR and you can just go for cheeky feasts on cooldown and get those 6 stacks ASAP. Oh, what a nice guy.
He's just angry.
Knock up the crab so that it gets the armor taken off for someone. What a team player. Not sure what team that will be for. No, never comes back.
I did not know that. Okay, I thought he came back after CC ended.
Nah, not at all. You do double damage whilst it's CC'd. Actually, not double, but you do like a 30% extra or something whilst it's CC'd.
Oh,
that's the CC lasts twice as long. But the armor and magic resist never comes back.
Well, now we know. Thanks, G.I. Joe. Or
knowing's half the battle.
Annie.
I mean, what do you think Annie's carrying around in that backpack? Yeah, it's just full of books, full of knowledge.
On crabs.
And crabs, yeah. She's actually, that's her true passion in life, being a crabologist.
I fairly certain you're just a biologist at that point. I think you're a crabologist. I don't think anyone's tweeted at me about these weird flavoured sweets, actually. Let's have a little
look.
Probably
some crab flavoured sweets.
Because we did have...
You did have some hashtag get Harry off the stage, oh god, my eyes, or...
No, we didn't have any of that.
Oh, no. Thanks, guys.
People seem fairly appreciative of it. No. I have to sit next to him, so I'm going to...
He hasn't been fatal attractioned yet, but...
KDO now is just holding the wave here in the top side. Doesn't actually have his support with him, as Fast Leg was having a bit of a sprint around the map, see if he can spot out anybody. It's Monkeys and Interior.
He's not in the bush.
Spotting each other out. Hooks can go a little bit wide. Throws out the Prey Seeker, and now D.Va coming in on that collapse.
Actually, the bot lane moving in as well. Lantern is available for Fast Leg, so Monkey's not in too much danger, unless he...
jumps forward and takes some serious damage. Petrifying Gaze does get used to flag the drag. D.Va has flash if he wants to use it. Solar Flare's already been used and D.Va flashes away. Sparks got himself a kill already. Fast Leg underneath the tower. In comes KDO though, who throws out the culling. A lot of damage into the stunners. Proper Panda goes golden. The Knight has been using here for the moment. A hook lands, health bars are low, and it looks like Barrage are looking for two. They've got a double kill, nice and simple. That's a turnaround there for Spark. He's picked himself up a couple with D.Va going forward, looking for the scout of the week. Not going to quite find it. The feathers get pulled back and the mana bar is just way too low for Man by Day. KDO able to do some serious work here into NVision, but a great turnaround there by them.
This does seem to be a lightly recurring theme for Monkeys, where he just goes in a bit too aggressively at times. But actually, I think it wasn't an atrocious play there. He managed just to get the Petrifying Gaze blown out as well, and we will actually have a replay. And I think that if his team was with him, they might be able to actually go for that play. But D.Va knows that he's got time inside the Cataclysm, so holds his flash as long as possible to try and bait it, but ends up just bringing Monkeys down instead. KDO now comes on with a nice flank, but again, because the culling's thrown across the lane instead of into it, it is quite easy to dodge. But then suddenly this is where it all starts kicking off. We see so much AoEs with the flag drags and the Xayah roots. Fast-Legged almost managing to get out of that one alive with the very close...
Oh, a scrap! Interior actually is able to take away the Rift Herald here. Artorias gets himself a kill onto Icebreaker, and the fight is breaking out in favor of NVision. KDO has a relentless pursuit over the wall, and NVision secure the Rift Herald, and now they're collapsing and onto a flashless D.Va. They're going to go for plates here. They've got 30 seconds to work with. D.Va has to take the long way back towards the lane to try and defend it. The minion waves are coming, and they're just going to start up this. Get so many plates. They might even just get themselves first turret blood here. 4 members of NVision hanging about. I don't know if there's the power for Barrage to defend.
Yeah, they did get the gold over onto Antero as well. I think they're not even going to get the next plate because a bit too scary to look for that Demolish proc. They have more self-restraint than I do, to be sure, but they instead will take those plates and now maybe look to move towards setting up some control over this Dragon area, at least to try and get some vision down so they know if it's taken on the reset, but I think nobody's got any wards left. Yep, that would be the case. So quick resets and then run down to see if they can contest this Ocean Dragon.
Oh, Ocean already been started up here by Barrage. Man by Day, he's just taking the Grom. I don't think they're even going to contest it at this point. Barrage remaining control of the Drakes, but still, gold in the lead for NVision here. They've done a good job to pull this back because it was a rough start for them. Remember, just 2 team fights in a row, and Barrage maybe being a little bit overconfident. Gonna bite them in the backside.
Yeah, it's just... It's not entirely misplaced confidence. I mean, we do see that KDO is getting pretty big on that Lucian. Looks like another good performance so far, but I think maybe they're just not all on the same page.
Mad Day has already used himself. The Petrifying Gaze actually catches them underneath the tower. Tower shot still being tanked by the minions, and here comes the reset. Here comes the silence. Here comes the knock-up. Mad Day falls to Monkeys. Barrage almost get killed underneath the tower, though. Meanwhile, Wallop lands on to Diva. They don't get enough off here, and Antonio can't jump in with a flag and drag. He didn't land himself the Dragon's Reach.
It's because he tried to do it over such a fat wall that the flag gets pushed forward outside the wall, but you're not given that luxury with the Dragon Strike. And so when he goes for the Lance, he's not going to put himself over. It doesn't quite reach, but they will still find the tower. And so they're not too displeased about the situation there, but I feel like Mad Day in the bot lane, if he just picked one target, you could have actually done a pretty decent amount of damage, maybe able to find that kill, because he got Icebreaker pretty low and then turned onto Monkeys just to get some healing, and then seemed surprised by just how much he was doing to Monkeys and just kept going for it. It's like, if he's just stuck on Icebreaker or went for Monkeys from the beginning, maybe you actually take one out, maybe you even live, but splitting like that means he will unfortunately not find the kill.
Monterio hanging about in the wings. Barrage have to play fairly respectful in this mid side of the map with KDO. Has got his flash and his cleanse available to him.
I'm sure he's got some friends as well. Fastlegged gonna go hang out with him.
I mean, Fastleg's been roaming around with Monkeys more than
to be fair, he has been sort of lightly ditched, but Fastlegged also got his Moby boots, yeah, like you said. So he's looking for the roams. Gonna have some fun. I mean, Thresh doesn't really have legs to be fast. What is it with Fastlegged and picking champions that don't have legs?
Thresh has legs.
Yeah, he got legs. He's got a little hovering situation.
No, he doesn't.
Fastleg, turn right.
Oh, he has legs.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I can see the bottom of his feet. Oh, he turned it!
Oh!
All right.
Fastleg, please. Oh, you're right. He's got legs.
He has legs.
You're right.
Yeah.
He's got little feet as well. Got some Moby boots on him. Could you imagine if your lead character had your items on?
Just walking around with
like bright yellow,
a bunch of swords and stuff strapped to you.
Ash walk up, just like, I won't miss, and then just pulls out a BF sword, just like, I think you might.
I mean, you've seen the comic, right, where the Ash buys a BF sword and then shoots it from her arrow.
Like, why does Ash have a line saying, I won't miss, when her ult is the slowest traveling projectile in the game?
I've never seen an Ash arrow miss. I refuse to accept them when they miss.
She told you she wouldn't miss.
They're not real Ash arrows.
Yeah, those were
They're test shots. She wasn't aiming for anyone on the map. She was aiming for someone off the Summoner's Rift.
It's like a TFT, you know how you have the different islands split out? She was just going into the next person's game.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You'll see in our second series of the day, an Ash arrow will come out of nowhere and hit someone. And it'll be like,
downtown.
You never miss.
Good lord. Maybe it will come into this game.
Well, Icebreaker.
Well, actually, maybe NV will just come into the backline of Barrage.
Yeah, he's going to actually look to catch them out here. KDO has to flash away, but already they pick up the jungler. One kill here. The Solar Flare is going to come down, followed up by the Culling Spark, trying to put some damage out onto Diva. Is able to get it with a Feather Storm. Icebreaker, very, very tanky, though. A knock-up does land, and it's just a 2-for-2. Artorias, though, itching for the fight. The hook does land. The Rupture goes wide. The heal comes out by Spark, and KDO has some relentless pursuit away. Icebreaker lands himself a silence. Doesn't have himself the feast available. And now Fastleg, hopping over the wall, has got himself the fishing hook available. Not going to thread that needle. And it's just the 2-for-2 between the teams.
But it's a good example of how much better equipped to deal with a Cho'Gath this team is than we saw from the last comp of Barrage. You see, the second Icebreaker gets into the fight.
Oh, knock-up doesn't actually quite land. The hook does this time, though. Artorias is about to go mega. He's just shut down by KDO. Icebreaker taking a lot of damage, but the flash forward, the flash out. Spark chasing onto Icebreaker, tries to land the dual feathers. Not going to get it, though. And that's going to be the turnaround. Monkeys joining up, and the health bars are still in favor of NVision. Monkeys over that wall. Look at Diva, though. Coming with the flank with the teleport.
Will be spotted.
Has been spotted out on so many wards here. And Monkeys looking for the knock-up, the scatter the weak, the flash, the dunk. Comes down. A lot of damage, and it's a killing spree for Spark. Lantern will bail Diva out of there.
And that was just amazing from Antero there. He spent the whole game being deflected by Diva's engages, but he knows they're going for a choke. Diva's gonna look for the two-man stun. He knows that, so he just EQs to the side. He knows he doesn't have to hit the knock-up. He just has to not be hit by the stun that has connected so many times throughout the course of the game. So once he ends up next to him, drop a Cataclysm on top. Even though it's actually Monkeys you end up taking out, you still manage to find your way into that fight so your team is able to grab that kill. And again, it's another case of Monkeys maybe just not being on the same page as his team and going a little bit too hard.
Alrighty, well, 19 minutes on the clock. Last time we were in this point, Barrage were looking to siege. They just got an ace and they were looking for Baron. This time, they've only just gotten to this tier 1 in the mid lane, and Spark might get here in time to defend here. He's got that Cloud Drake. It will finally fall to D.Va. That's 2 turrets apiece between these teams, and the gold lead now ever so slightly in favor of Barrage by 400.
Yeah, the major lead that we saw there was in the bottom lane. KDO does have a pretty substantial lead over Spark. You'll see that although they both have 2 items, KDO's just cost more money. Infinity Edge is very expensive, and Rapid Fire Cannon isn't in comparison. And because of those, he's just going to do so much damage with the double shots, with the Qs, all that. He's got a lot of AD to go with his caster playstyle, and Spark just something a little bit safer with the Rapid Fire Cannon.
Seeing though, Artorias now with this Black Cleaver is feeling a lot more comfortable into Icebreaker. You see he's able to do a fair amount of damage to here with his Hyperprocs as well. Icebreaker, they are less equipped to deal with him.
I mean, the thing is, you compare this team to the last game, and Spark and Made by Day both have self-peel to get away from the Cho'Gath, and we saw it in that big fight. It just happened in the mid lane. The second Cho'Gath right just in, it was just Miasma and the ultimate from Spark, the Feather Storm. And once you get those through, Icebreaker is not very useful, and he is easy to kite from that point if he's a too far up Cho'Gath. Well, Proper Panda might look.
Solar Flare onto D.Va.
No,
he has been slowed, but they don't have the ability to close the gap, so D.Va able to make his way out. Clearing out these wards here. Miasma just to zone away the members of Barrage. They've got control around the Baron pit. That's the key thing to note here. NVision have to slowly work their way up. Teleports available to both of these top laners if they want to choose to go for it. Tori's still desperately trying to get onto this turret. He's about to mega out here, and Icebreaker may have to use that silence in a second, otherwise he might just get walloped into the wall. It's going to be one, the Gnar back, and Notorious now will have to just run away.
I mean, if you're Artorias, you're not too fussed about that ult. It has such a short cooldown after the buffs it got this season that now that he's got the Cleaver as well for the CDR, it will be up by the next time he's Mega. And at that point, you are just sort of hoping you can just threaten Icebreaker a little bit, just so that he's chunked enough that they don't really want to force a TP fight whilst you don't have Mega for the next 30 seconds or so. And he wasn't quite able to accomplish that, but Barrage do look to be resetting, so it's sort of no harm, no foul for Artorias.
Well, a bit of a reset across the board everywhere here.
Oh,
reset on the Baron wards here as it looks like NVision. They're now able to move in, clear out this vision for themselves. Paradiva on the Syndrome is the wave clear. Will be there in the mid lane. But no turrets apiece for here for either team, so does mean it's a little bit harder as NVision now setting up, looks like they're setting up for a death rush here.
Right. They have to be kind of careful of Monkeys spotting them out if they move too much, but they all stood dead still on the spot. They see D.Va moving up. They're not spotted out quite just yet.
Solar Flare uses himself the stun. Their lanterns available to them. Can he get out in time? Yes, he can. D.Va's able to jump out. Teleporting used by Artorias. They have that flash. They have that Cataclysm. D.Va being chased down. They're going to get the Scuttle Crab. Monkeys now coming in on that flank. That's going to be the Cataclysm. D.Va pins him back. Unleashes power into his face. Monkeys is going to get caught out by the Petrifying Gaze, but KDO is trying to turn the damage back around, but it's 2 kills being picked up for NVision already. A double kill for Artorias, and Icebreaker is just been sent to the wind. NVision trying to chase for these more, but they're unable to do so. Artorias chasing with that slow from the Boomerang, and now KDO coming in for the flank. Knockup's not going to land. And has been silenced. Artorias is just going to have to run away, but Baron for NVision.
Started. They're staying up, but this is the place you need to win a fight. But this is the man you need alive if you're Barrage. Look how low Antero is. He's either going to have to smite for health or he's going to have to run. They're still doing it. Icebreaker might be able to get it.
Icebreaker has flash. He does get caught out for the moment. He's not going to get in time. And that will be Baron picked up for NVision.
Oh, that is so risky. But Mad My Day did have the Miasma. They had the Gnar ult available as well. So they are able to secure the Baron in this match. And that was just such a long fight. And again, it's one of those situations where they're not falling for the same trick 5 times in a row with D.Va stunning on the engage. Yes, Antero goes in straight first to bait it, but the second that's out, suddenly Proper Panda is on in. Nice chain to CC as well, just to chunk out D.Va as much as possible. And you know D.Va has no flash. And again, it's nice to see NVision playing as a team and just being proactive, using the knowledge that they have together as well. They know that he's got no flash, and every time that Syndra is flashless, they are just goon squadding onto them. Now using the Baron, they're going to be able to try and make a push down mid.
25 minutes on the clock, and it's a very different state again compared to game 1. This time it's NVision with the Baron. This time it's NVision with control over the game. And they're going to pick themselves up their second Cloud Drake here. Doesn't look like there's really going to be much of a contest come out from Barrage. It's not worth it. Just want to catch these waves. And it's such a different game from D.Va. This man was popping off on the Akali. Now on this Syndra, very high priority pick. They first pick it, and he's gone 0-3.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a rough one on the first pick. And also, LS may be deemed as slightly molding here, as he's got the he's got Morello Rush, Morello's second item. And there's not a lot of healing there, so...
The only thing I could justify it with is maybe the cast Q.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Sorry, but...
It's like, would a Leandri's be better? Arguably, yeah, because you're versus Gnar and Jarvan, who both have huge health pools. The Leona as well. And these fights all have been going on pretty long. So we'll have to see if D.Va looks for that second. But I think, also third, I think it actually might end up being something like a Zhonya's. Because when you have that, D.Va has always been the target of these engages. So having the Zhonya's third is going to be really nice to try and dissuade those.
So rotating members up towards this mid lane here for both teams, trying to get some kind of defense mounted. But KDO, now with that Zeal, 2.5 items on the Lucian. Doesn't have a lot of damage, but a very short range to work with. That's the key thing. You look at Spark, who's building towards his Infinity Edge now. He's got the rapid fire kind of finished up. He's got the ability to really do some serious damage to these squishy members, because the only true tank for Barrage is Icebreaker.
And Icebreaker is, yeah, he's a true tank, but he's a tank in the truest sense, in that this game is not one where he's actually walking up and threatening people and dishing out huge amounts of damage. Yes, he's got the Righteous Glory, but they just have enough ways to deal with him. You know, Leandri's finished off by Mad My Day now. Cleaver and Malik from Artorias, just everyone seems to have a way that they can just make Icebreaker, yes, a threat and an annoyance, but never something that they are too terrified about and they don't want to try and fight through. Remember, when you have Xayah, it's totally cool to be hitting the massive Cho'Gath in front of you, because you will be hitting feathers behind him and setting up for a big route if you need it as well.
I mean, look what Artorias is able to do to him now on this Gnar. He's going to miss out on the wall up there, but I think he's okay with that. Icebreaker's just going to have to catch this wave here. They're trying desperately to clear out these Baron minions. Haven't been able to crack the inhibitor yet. They've still got a little bit of time to work with before this Baron wears off. But a hook will land onto Anterio. Followed up by a Scatter of the Week, followed up by a Culling. Anterio jumps into the backline with a Cataclysm, and D.Va's just trying to buy time, but that's already been one picked up for Mad My Day. On to the fresh fast leg will fall. And now a big Zenith Blade, a big Solar Flare might just spell the end of the base here for Barrage.
And that was actually a really nice turn from Anterio. It looked a little bit like he might be accused of some negative gaming when he goes in for the 1v4 there, but dropping the Cataclysm onto D.Va, yeah, they don't kill him, but it perfectly cuts off a circle between the wall and the tower, meaning that no one can move forward, especially not KDO, and they are able to secure that kill onto Fast-Legged.
KDO now just making his way towards the mid lane. Baron's just about one off here for the members of NVision. So they lost a lot of towers, but they didn't get the base cracked in that time. And that's the key thing here for Barrage. Their key hope in this game. So remember, it's NVision who need to win here. Barrage, while, yeah, they need to win, they got that first win. They're only one away. And if they can get a clean 2-0 going into the finals of the promo relegations, they'll be very, very happy.
Yeah, 2-0 and 2-1, the only difference really is a confidence boost for Barrage. So yes, they want to look for the 2-0, and it's definitely possible. KDO is still massive in this game, and we actually see D.Va now building towards death cap. So no Leandri's, no Zhonya's either, but we'll be able to put out a lot of threat in the fights, and all they need is that sort of one fight, I feel, especially with the Baron turning up pretty soon. And that next fight, I think, decides the game for either team.
I mean, Notorious is just doing so much damage here. Icebreaker does land a knock-up, and Notorious not going to be able to finish him off.
Will control himself a little bit. Maybe could have looked for a hop forward, but thought, you know what? I like my KDA the way it is. And says he doesn't realize where everyone on Barrage is, so he thinks he'll hang back a little bit. And that is a smart call, bearing in mind that they are all lurking next door.
But look at the Baron, though, spawning up in 40 seconds. The Infernal Drake in 50. Artorias has pressure, so he might just be able to solo this objective for himself. And Ontario maybe looking for some kind of a setup with the Cataclysm onto these squishy members. D.Va has still got his flash. KDO also, both of his summoners are available to him. Key thing is all sums are up. Well, for this next fight, bar one flash in the game, and that's on Ontario.
I think a major issue to point out right now is Monkiz. He's level 12 with a cleaver at 30 minutes. He's significantly behind in XP compared to everyone on NVision. He's the same level as Proper Panda, and he has no Sterax. He doesn't even have a component for it, so he is so squishy. And Rek'Sai isn't really a champion you'd be like, oh, well, they're a cleaver bot at least. You know, like something in Jarvan, you're like, oh, well, you know, he can ult and hit Qs, and at least he'll stack cleaver a little bit before he dies. That's something that Rek'Sai cannot do. And being at this stage and this squishy as Rek'Sai just means that you become so irrelevant in fights. And that was actually kind of close, bearing in mind the Smite didn't steal it, but Spark ends up picking up the Infernal there, which is real nice for an Akali and Cassiopeia.
Zaya. There is no Akali in this game, mate.
I'm trying to figure out where I was going with that. Why?
There was an Akali in the last game.
There was.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
It's not even like they share a letter other than Zaya and Akali.
You're really stretching here.
It's been a long day.
Like
I got up early.
Barrage are really stretching any chance of coming back into this game. As Fastlane gets caught out, Baron already be starting up and secured here for NVision. Now Proper Panda's jumping onto D.Va. D.Va throws out the scan of the week. KDO still alive for the moment, and that's going to be a turnaround. Mamade able to get himself a kill. In comes a two-man knockout. The Featherstorm's big though, catching out Fastlane. Cataclysm does not land onto him though, as KDO trying to kite and fight away, but his support is down. His team are down, and everybody on Barrage, but their AD carry has fallen. KDO can do nothing but try and run away from Artorias, who is just buying time for his team. They're going to work these Baron minions up towards the wave, towards the base, and KDO is just slowly getting chipped away here by Artorias. There's still a GA on this Gnar for the moment. He's catching the wave, and they're onto the inhibitor turrets. They're onto the inhibitors as well here. The respawns are coming up in a few seconds, and KDO is going very, very low versus Artorias, but KDO unable to finish him up, able to pop that GA at the least, and he's still going to be able to try and get this. There is still a jump available to Artorias, and KDO takes down Artorias. Artorias was buying time though. KDO unable to do anything here. Now he's looking for the collapse with Monkeys at his back.
Monkeys at least does have the stopwatch now for this fight. Teleport coming in from both solo lanes.
They're going for it, but the Baron recall! Spark's actually been caught out. Now Fastlane stepping forward. Monkeys just trying to dodge the feathers because they're going to do so much work. A righteous glory forward. And they are going to give that kill over to D.Va. But the base is being sieged on multiple fronts. They're looking to see if they can get onto the turrets. One turret's already fallen. The second one not going to go quite yet.
All right, they lost one hull tower to the wave, and they committed 2 teleports for 1 kill. That's a rough play if you're Barrage. So let's see how this fight starts off. They go, you know what? We don't even need our jungler in the pit. In most situations, that's a pretty rough idea, but no one can get close enough. So they're able to turn this fight. Artorias has a lovely stun. Meanwhile, at the backside, D.Va's going to sort of 1-for-1 with the support, which is something you are totally okay with if you're NVision. And then a lovely route, of course, straight through the choke. The last place you want to find yourself fighting out Zaya. And that's going to be the fight. Then, of course, we see shenanigans with KDO and Artorias. And KDO does a good job to hold the wave. Artorias does a good job to stop him from recalling and trying to defend. But honestly, I think if Artorias just sort of ran, he might have been able to just TP and end. Because, as we saw, they had the wave in top lane anyway. Yes, it was a little bit further away than mid, but it would have come in eventually anyway. So, maybe holding on to that top wave and just teleporting in could have finished the game. But again, I've said it a few times, no harm, no foul really, other than the fact that he did end up losing his GA.
Does mean Artorias has to be a little bit safer coming forward, but 4 items now finished up on KDO, 4 finished up on Spark. Spark does have that stopwatch, which is going to be really big, because if he can avoid some kind of major catch by getting that stopwatch off in time, the rest of his team collapse and he doesn't fall for it. That might just be the moment that opens this game for NVision, opens this series for NVision, and push it all the way to a 3rd game. D.Va doing his best to try and defend us. His bot lane inhibitor is the only one standing, and they're looking for Artorias, but Artorias is just going to gnar out. And now the open inhib is going to slowly fall here. KDO has to use the culling and barely clips Man by Day.
I mean, even if you find Artorias there, that's just not worth it to trade the inhib. You have to think that maybe you can at least try and hold it, because D.Va and KDO are so strong, as we just saw. That was onto a tank, and still half health Proper Panda.
Big scan of the week. KDO is trying to get onto Artorias. Artorias jumps away with the hop. Going to use the ulti by Monkeys to try and get the kill here. Artorias will finally fall, but the rest of the team now using the miasma, using the minion waves. They're just going to walk up here. Fastlane jumping forward. They don't have that righteous glory, and Man by Day he's going to be able to sliver away with the rest of his team. It's 5 versus 4, but 3 inhibitors down. All Barrage are doing is just buying time for themselves here.
Yeah, unfortunately for NVision, the Baron had just timed out when Artorias was collapsed on, so they weren't able to maybe try and make a push for that tower, because it was going to take just a bit too long. And let's be real, you're in their base. They're still in their base. They've even got an extra Cloud Drake as well, Barrage. So you're going to get collapsed on pretty fast, even if they are 4-manning your tank. But Artorias still managing to live quite a while there. Yeah, he doesn't really get anything for it, but it just shows how difficult he's going to be. And that was a 4v1 situation, so he's in a 1v1 situation. He is going to be fine. And now the Elder Dragon is spawning. Nobody's really stacked an obscene amount of dragons, and nobody's got like 3 Infernals or anything, but it still will be an important objective in this game.
I mean, NVision are okay not fighting here. They can just buy time. They've got supers pushing in everywhere, and that's actually the go time for Barrage. Stopwatch is going to get used, and Antonio is able to make his way out alive. His health bar's low. The Solar Flare goes wide. KDO full HP. Monk is also very, very low, and Artorias now slowing members down. Diva looks to get caught out. He's going to get jumped onto and burst out. Artorias gets the kill. Featherstorm gets used by Spark as well. The bases are coming in. The teleports are coming in. Monkeys is inside the base already, though, trying to force the minion wave up. Monkeys has to somehow defend. The rest of his team joining up with him. The flash, the knock-up. Man by there has to flash away. Icebreaker's chasing him down. Not going to land the rupture. Does land the silence, though. The minion wave being ushered forward here by NVision. They got 4 members inside the base. Anterio making his way forward as well. That's going to be the stone plate already used. And Proper Panda is doing so much work. Is so tanky as KDO is zoned away from the rest of his team. This is going to be a series here for NVision as they take themselves game number 2. Wow, I'm going to put my gloves back on.
So we are going to go to the 3-game, like he said, but the thing is that does just so much better from NVision. Yeah, they had a strong ADC they could work with, and they were proactive. They saw the plays they wanted to make, and they just went for them. And you saw it worked out. Yeah,
I mean, like, what we were saying, what I said as well, is make your solo lanes, just have better lanes. Like, don't pick lane negating, don't pick scaling, just... I mean, Cassiopeia technically scales, but, like, still has...
She is a snake, yeah.
She had... Very good. She still has, you know, some kind of a laning phase. It's not just like, you know, Lissandra just throwing Qs and stopping Akali jumping on her. You know, the... No, it's a fantastic pick into Icebreaker's combo. It was able to deal with it. The health percent damage from the Hyper Procs. Just bullying him out. And it just looked like a different team from game 1. They need to replicate that going into game 2. And Barrage have to find what was going right for them in game 1, what was going wrong for them in game 2 to pull this out.
Well, the answer to that is KDO. I joked about it a bit at the start of the game. It's like, well, he's not playing something that builds Hurricane or a teamfight ADC, so no Pentas for him. But actually, we did see in that game, he plays Lucian, and he gets these flanks sort of at the ends of the fight. You're like, oh, this is it. This is the big pop-off. And then it's just not because he's playing Lucian. He had a really strong performance sort of in lane in the early skirmishes, but you got to these points where it just looked like he wasn't quite so comfortable on maybe the more short-range champion. Like, if that was a Tristana, KDO would have just wiped the entire fight if he was playing something a little bit more hyper carry-ish. So I wonder if we'll see him moving back onto something like that. But the Lucian was banned away in the first game, so maybe there's been something that we haven't seen of that Lucian pick.
We'll have to see coming into game 3, because that's where we're finding out who's going to be making it into the upper bracket final and who's going to get knocked down into that lower bracket. So I'm really excited to see how this next game goes, because it kind of, after game 1, I was expecting it just to be like a one-way trip for Barrage, but NVision challenged them in game 2, and now it looks like we've got a series on our hands. Both these teams are their strengths, because we have to make sure that they hit them. I want to see both of these teams play to their strengths, because game 1 was very one-sided. Game 2 was NVision punishing Barrage. I want to see them both play really well now.
Well, I think that it actually favors NVision, the situation that we have now. And that's not just for the sake of my predictions, because Barrage didn't change anything between games 1 and 2, other than really KDO's sort of style. They played a very similar comp, a very similar style.
Yeah.
And they win game 1, and then they lose game 2. So they have this sort of 50-50 win rate, and they're like, was it a fluke that we won or a fluke that we lost?
Yeah.
Like, where was the problem? But NVision, they know. They're like, okay, this is what we did wrong in the first game. We've changed it, we've adapted, and now we've got a win. So like, cool, we'll just do that again. There's no doubt in their mind about what won them their game, whereas Barrage might just have a little bit something in there.
We'll have to see going into game number 3. I'm very, very excited to get going into this one, but you know, let's talk a little bit more about this AD carry, because like you said, the AD carry was what we're looking for. So what are you looking for in the next match?
Again, hyper carries for both players. Like, yes, it was a good Lucian performance, but the second we see Spark on, he's on the Ezreal, it was kind of rough. He just, honestly, didn't do anything the whole game. Yes, he cleaned up some kills in that fight with Artorias, but for the most part, was a complete non-factor. And then this time around, we see him on the carry, and it's like, oh, it's just infinitely. Now that he's on the Xayah, way better. And the reverse was true for KDO.
Well, one more shot for both of these teams to lock themselves into the finals of the promo relegations. Loser of this goes down to the bracket. It's all for game 3. We're going to cut to a quick break, and when we're back with game 3 of the series, so don't go anywhere. See you in a second.